So before we jump into Crust, the reason you're here, we just have to touch on a few others on your legendary filmography. One of your most known roles was as Alan in 1996's Twister, a movie that
Yeah.
honestly traumatized me as a kid. I was
Uh-oh.
scared about the tornadoes. Um, Talk about a loaded cast in a beloved classic film. How cool was that experience? Can you talk about working with Philip Seymour Hoffman and Bill Paxton, especially? Obviously, we've lost those two way too soon.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it was again, Spielberg saw the milk commercial, and then someone said, "Oh, he's going to work with you." And when I got the call for Twister, I could tell, like, we had no real audition lines. It was like, look out, there it is. Oh no, like, there's not a lot to do, right? Or like, turn here, So there wasn't a lot to do. I was given the part fairly quickly. And when I didn't know anyone else, the only other person I knew and admired is Jeremy Davies. I'd just seen David O. Russell's first film, Spanking the Monkey, which is a fantastic film. And Jeremy was so good in it. He was getting a lot of accolades. And I had seen Scent of a Woman, so I knew of Phil, but I wasn't a New York person to know of Phil. And again, I wasn't, I was a little older for the, weird science and stuff like that, where Bill really made his day. I obviously knew him from Aliens. And I had a huge crush on Helen Hunt from her TV show. Mm-hmm. But when we got there, I got in the car and Alan Ruck, and I said, I'd done all my character work and all this stuff. And I said, who do you think we are to each other? And he said, dude, we're Sean and Alan in a truck. And I was, kind of crestfallen, like, what? He goes, look, this movie is about the tornadoes. It's not about us. It's about the industrial light and magic challenging themselves after nailing dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. They wanted to try something else. This is not about us. So because of that attitude on everybody's part, there was a relaxation and we just had fun. So Phil was, I was intimidated by him because he's, he was like, if you've never done Shakespeare, you're not an actor. And I was like, and he's like, oh, and commercial isn't real acting. So I was like, wow, what a jerk. But he was a passionate artist, and then we started hanging out together. We became really good friends. Me and him, Joey Slotnick and Jeremy Davies, we would hang out all the time. And me and Phil would always do this every morning. Hey, brother, what's going on? What's going on? And so when it was time to shoot the food thing, it was just me and Phil doing our thing.
Nice.
Awesome. That's my forever connection to Phil, is that moment when we're going like this to each other. So that was really beautiful. And, so horrible, when I heard of his passing. Yeah. And Bill was just he had Apollo 13. So this is a guy that was always a guy like me, like just popping up doing funny stuff or throughout the thing that's fun or funny. And he was so excited because he had Apollo 13, a lead role, and then he had leading in Twister being shot. So he was excited to go like, hey man, and we're like, we got it. You're but he was so fun. So it was an odd pairing because Helen's a very serious actress, introvert, and he is a great actor, but extrovert. Is he walked around, played football with the town people we were in, signed autographs. He just loved he loved people the way I do. Again, not saying Helen does not. She's just more of an introvert, So it was just, and I run into him at the writer's strike, and we were just laughing. He goes, I never thought I would do TV, but this big love came and I had to do it. But, I thought movies would last forever. And we gave each other a hug, and that's the last time I saw him. Unfortunately, he passed a couple years later, and it just stinks because I just think we would have had, obviously him and Phil, we would have had years of great more material.
Right.
Absolutely.